later about that, but you can read about it on Facebook. And then we have Ray McAtee, who is now our vice chair at Get Started with no money. So this will be an excellent program. And Rayshone has her own YouTube channel and online business. So she'll be really great. You'll want to hear her. And then her lovely daughter, Queenie Oliver, who is an artist, and she's still in high school. But she is helping us with SCORE because she's doing some of these flyers, which she did for her mom, which is a great program coming up in July, starting for 5 months. So if you want to hear how other people have started their business from idea to inception, then you really want to come to that program. And then our speaker today, which is Dale Perlman, is our leader in the Newcastle SCORE chapter, and we're very excited to have him here today. And I'll let him maybe introduce himself, but I'll have him be our first presenter. And we're all here to learn about books, literature, how to get published, how to start a nonprofit, and I'll introduce Karen in a little bit. But right now, I'm very pleased to present Dale. Thank you. Thank you, Dale.
I hate it when they clap before because that means you might expect something. I'm here to talk about publishing, and let's call my story, and it is a story, accidental publishing. Probably close to 45 years ago, I decided to leave Cleveland, Ohio. I was a marketing executive with the company and returned to our family business, which was King's Jewelry. And at the time, we had stores in Eastwood Mall and Southern Park Mall and Boardman Strip. And I returned, I think we had 11 stores when I started. And before I came back, I decided I should learn quite a bit about gemology. So I started taking classes at the Gemological Institute of America. And as I was taking more and more and getting into appraising and getting certifications, I grew more and more interested in the history of famous diamonds of the world. So the first thing I did when I came back, I got a book, Famous Diamonds of the World. Then I got a story on the Kohinoor diamond, which is in the Tower of London, and it's crown jewels. And I don't know whether anyone wore it during the coronation. I didn't watch the coronation. My wife did. She got up early to watch it. But anyhow, I started writing about the Kohinoor diamond. And I wrote a book called Mountain of Light, which I'll pass around. And Mountain of Light tells the story of this Indian diamond that today is
Other
100.
books on how to craft your idea and your project. So go to the business department at the Youngstown Public Library, ask for help, and let them show you some of the books there.
And by the way, just as an aside, I used those books.
How I got to know about this amazing organization called Lit Youngstown. This was a few years ago. My girlfriend, who's on the cover of this book, Ollie McCurdy, she called me up and was all excited. Guess what? I'm being interviewed for this book. I said, what? What's that about? So when it was all finished and done, I followed the whole process with her. I was so excited about the opening premiere of this book. And wouldn't you believe it was one of the biggest snowstorms in Youngstown. And I was totally distraught, but I was told when I made a phone call, oh no, it's gonna happen. And sure enough, there was like a mob scene, even with all this snow and ice and so forth. So many people came out to the church, the First Presbyterian on Wick Avenue, to hear this amazing presentation. I had absolutely no concept how they were going to present this book. I thought, okay, I looked at, I heard about all the stories, but how were they going to present it just as relate how they got started. No, it was like a theater production with 3 individuals reading from the book. They took certain aspects of the stories that were similar that all these ladies said, and they crafted it into like a kind of a play. It was mesmerizing. It was just stunning. And it is a testament to Karen's creativity. I'm so happy she agreed to speak with us today to tell us about her organization and how she started a nonprofit. We get that question a lot. So without further ado, please welcome Karen Schubert, and she'll tell us more.
Thank you so very much for that lovely introduction. Let me tell you a tiny bit about myself and a little bit about Youngstown, but I'll spend most of the time talking about the book. So I returned in my early 40s to finish a degree that I had started in my youth. I changed my major from French and Spanish to professional writing and editing, and then I loved it, stayed in and got a master's degree, and then I stayed in and got a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing from Cleveland State. So, and then when I came out, I was teaching for a while at YSU and other campuses. And then I did a 1-year AmeriCorps Vista gig with Youngstown Neighborhood Development Corporation and learned so much. And then there were a few years when I was between jobs, and I'd been thinking about starting some kind of literary arts organization, because a lot of people seem to be looking for that. There are some writers at YSU, but most of the people are just passing through. And then when you come out, you're looking for some kind of writing community. And I kept hearing about this amazing reading series that Nancy Pizzari had at the Cedars. I knew there were a lot of writers here. So in early 2015, I and a small group of friends started Lit Youngstown. I know it's a funny name, but I think it helps people remember us. What I say is not that kind of lit. But we have literary programming for writers, readers, and storytellers. And I just want to tell you a few things we have coming up. We have a monthly reader series where we bring in authors every single month, and they come from their local and regional and also from around the country. In June, it's always the first Wednesday of the month. In June, we have a published author who's done very well, and he's going to be reading. He actually grew up in Poland. His name is William Heath, and he's published some historical fiction. He'll be reading some poems he wrote about the Steel Valley. And also Melissa Barger is a writer who works in the library system, and she'll be reading her young adult novel in progress, is also historical fiction. We also have a book discussion every month. And this month we'll be reading it's a long title, Black Snake's Path, The True Adventures of William Wells, and that's written by William Heath, our visiting writer. We also have a writer's circle, so Dale was talking about how important it is to get some critical feedback. So every month we have a table of writers who look at one another's work and ask questions, how's this working? And you know, I love this part. And that's always on the third Thursday. And then I also wanted to tell you about our Fall Literary Festival. For those of you who are interested in aspects of writing and publishing, we're going to have a 2-day literary arts conference in the fall where we'll have all kinds of readings and panels on all kinds of literary topics. It's really important to us that we keep our programming free or very affordable. So that 2-day literary conference will only be $35. So here's some information. I also have a sign-up sheet if you'd like to receive our once monthly, I Promise newsletter. Talks about what we have coming up. So my co-founding co-director, Liz Hill, who is now gone on to warmer climates, but she was really instrumental in helping to get us off the ground. And she was in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and she took her little sister to the Tyler History Center one day because they had a program there on immigration. And her little sister, who's African American, was looking at this exhibit with her, and Liz thought, your story isn't here. We need to do something about that. So we decided that we would interview 12 African American women between the ages of 64 and 101. We have 2 centenarians in the book who have sadly also died since we published the book, which makes it even more poignant that we were able to talk to them. We knew that we wanted to access the stories through some people, some trusted entities or organizations in Youngstown, because no one knew us. Liz and I are not from Youngstown, and if some person came to your door and said, I want to ask you some questions about your life, you'd probably say, hey, I got dishes to wash or something.
Right.
Go away. So we got in touch with the National Council of Negro Women and presented the project to them. We would like to interview some women. We would like to collect their oral histories in a book, and they were able to contact 6 amazing women for us to talk to, and then we, through our own community contacts, we reached out to the other 6, including Ali McCurdy, whom we really love meeting. The women's stories are incredible. We called the book Phenomenal Women after a line in a Maya Angelou poem, but we really felt that way. These women had lived through so much, and their story is the story of Youngstown. Their determination, their true grit, their insights and hardships. The stories are about love and family and childhood and memory, and also how the civil rights kept moving the line forward. Like now we have to hold this line. We need somebody here in this position, you. And they'd be like, me? Okay, I'll do it. And they did. So just courage and really amazing, phenomenal stories.